Hello there guys. Well, I've been promising this video for quite a long time and it is finally here. Here? It's finally here. I went to university in Norwich and everyone in Norwich speaks like that. So, hello you people in Norwich with your farms. Fucking hell. I do apologise. I've opened the video. I've got about 10 seconds in. I've already insulted a lot of people. A couple of my actual friends on Xbox I've noticed actually live in Norwich. So hello to you guys. A lonely Afghan, you're from Norwich. I was looking at your profile. I've been looking at people's profiles and being all nosy. So I also looked at, what's your name? Fallen, UK Fallen something. I can't remember, something like that. XX, Fallen, UK, XX. I looked at your thing. You haven't got one, so you haven't got a YouTube. I was gutted because I was going to have a bit of a nose. But my regular viewers, or people that have commented regularly, you should look at my comments on comments video, because I jumped into a couple of your profiles. Mute. I looked at your profile, and I've been watching your guitar videos. So you should have a look at my comments on comments video, because I did go to your channel, and hopefully that's going to send you some subscribers. Anyway, as usual, I'm distracted already. So let's get into this. I have promised this video for a long time, and what I'm going to show you in this video is every 7 times multiplier skill car in the game, I think. Okay, a small disclaimer, there could be some I haven't found yet. This is one, this Escort, I love this. My mate Craig, who I've spoke about quite a bit, he used to have one of these. He had a red one. He had it while he was at, he passed his driving test really young, almost straight away, and he got one of these cars and it was a lot of fun. So anyway, he had one of these. I like driving it. It's a front wheel drive. It's nice to drive. I have put a tune on it, but I've kept it front wheel. But let's stop getting distracted. Let's get to the point of the video. Right, if I go to my favourites, every single car in here, so I'm going to go through them quite, not really slowly, but I want you to see what they are. Every single one of these cars has got a 7 times multiplier inside it, apart from one, which I'll mention in just a moment. So all of these have a 7 times multiplier. These are the James Bond ones, so obviously they're only on the DLC. This is a car that I love to drive. It's got a speed boost because it's a Forza edition, so it's good for up and down the motorway. This Mini has got the body kit applied to it, and it's a fucking huge amount of fun when you put the body kit on. And also it's sporting one of my designs. This is the only car that doesn't have a 7 times multiplier because this one's got an 8. It is the only car in the game, and I'm saying that with quite a bit of confidence. I'm pretty sure it's the only car in the game that has an 8 times multiplier. But if you put a tuning on it, it's quite difficult to control, and it's not that fun to drive. It's a laugh, but it's not fun to drive all the time, so I don't use it. But this has got an 8 times multiplier, so you get up to maximum pretty quickly. And that's it. So all of those, 7 times multiplier. Now some of them have got a really fucking weird skill set. This one of the James Bond cars and a couple of others have got a weird thing inside them. I'll just show you quickly. I put it in here because it's got a 7 times multiplier, but it's really not worth getting this car. But I just want to show you something that's a bit strange. Inside this skill perk, you have this, which is a 6 times multiplier, and you have this, which is a 7. Bit strange. I unlocked them both just to see if it stacks, and this car was so shit at getting the skill change, I didn't even manage to get up to 6. But I've tried it in another car. It doesn't stack. It just goes to 7, as you might expect. Now, the reason you don't want this car is because it doesn't have something else, which is really, really important. So let's change over to a car that you probably do want. So back to my favourites again. I'll jump in this one. Right, inside here, this is a really popular car, but it's not the best, right? And I know a lot of people are going to thumbs down this video because I'm gonna bitch about this car a little bit, and I'll support myself with evidence. I'll show you why I'm bitching about this car. But a lot of people seem to think that this is the best car for skill point farming, and it's not. And I'm not saying it's about preference, which I did say before. I'm just saying it's not. This is not the best car, and I'll tell you why. Preference is a little bit of a situation as well. That's a factor, but there's something else that you also need to consider. Right, but first of all, I wanted to show you this. This is very important. Now, sometimes this is only a 2 times multiplier, but on this one it's a 3, which is really important, and this is a 7. These 2 skills are the most important 2 skills on skill point farming in any car. What Other skill point, all of the rest of these are pretty good, okay? All of these help. So just have a quick look at them. You really want to max out a car that you're using, but I would recommend not getting this. It's a little bit annoying, and I'll go into a little bit of detail later why that's annoying. But this here gives you a bonus as you're in a convoy. So if you've got friends that are playing Forza, just get in a convoy. It doesn't matter if you're doing stuff with them or they're off doing their own thing. You get 10% more influence when you're in a convoy. So just always be in a convoy. This one here, the skill song. When the skill song is playing, you get more. So you need to unlock the skill song. So that's important. So let's talk about that next. And then we're going to go and have a look at why this car is not as good as a different one, which is going to get me a lot of thumbs down, but I just don't care because the people who think this is the best car, you're just wrong. You are wrong. Right? I don't care. You are wrong. And I know that that is going to get me a lot of hate because a lot of people really do love this car. Anyway, skill songs. Let's talk about that because that's important. Very quickly. Right, get rid of all this crap and just get the player houses. Where are they? I really do wish this was in alphabetical order. I don't know why it's in this mess. Right, so, oh my god, I haven't bought this house. Why the hell not? Because it doesn't give you a perk. I should buy it anyway. So this one over here in Lakehurst Forest. This house here, when you buy it, the skill that it gives you is to unlock the skill song. You probably knew that already, but just in case you didn't, I just wanted to bring that to your attention. It's not actually on a road, but if you go up this dirt track here and then just go through the forest, you can find it, buy it, and then the DJ will play a song, which means that your skill chain builds up faster and it can go up to 10 times instead of whatever currently its maximum is, which could be 5, 6, 7 or 8, depending on what car you're driving. So you want that. Another little point that's interesting about this is the longest skill song is on Timeless. So that's the one that plays all the classic songs. So if they're playing a song on there, it's going to be longer than it is on the other radio stations. Now, I can't say that listening to the Timeless radio station is going to give you the best benefit because I don't know whether they don't play that song so often or, you know, there's a lot of variables and I don't know what the answers to those variables are. Another thing to consider is if you've got the radio on and they play your skill song, as soon as the song is finished, is it worth changing to a different station? If you change to another station, will your skill song come around quicker or not? I don't know. So those are all factors that would have an influence on your skill chain. I don't know how all that stuff works. Either the radio stations are all completely independent and it helps if you jump around between them and you get a lot more skill points because your skill song is played more often, or the game just has a timer that says it's been 10 minutes, play another skill song, there we go. Or it might say, let's give him 6 minutes worth of skill song every half an hour, and depending on what radio station you're on, you get that regular, you know, more regular intervals or not, depending on the length of the song. I don't know how all that stuff works, but it's not that much of a difference. But I tell you what, when your skill song is on, you get a fucking very fast build up on your skill points. You get up to maximum really, really quickly, and you've got it 10 times instead of obviously whatever car you're in. So that's skill song out of the way. I want to talk a little bit about the cars and the area that you go in. But before I do that, just to be fair, okay, I'm going to download a tune. Can I do that in here? Where am I? Oh, I need to go in here, don't I? Oops, wrong button. It's because I've got a different set on at the moment. Right, I'm just going to download a tune for this BMW because I can't drive this BMW. I find it an absolute pain in the arse. It wheel spins all over the place, and that makes me a little bit biased against it. So I'm going to download a tuning so that I can actually drive it, and it's a little bit fairer. So I want something that's got reasonably good handling because that's where I suffer the most, I think. Let's go with that one back there, that S2. This one. So Hot James Bond. So we're going to take your tuning, get it up to an S2. Oh, it's rear wheel drive. I want all wheel. I don't want to use it for drifting. I want all wheel drive, really. So I'm just going to take this. So this one here, oh, it's from XNY Space 1. So I'm quite glad I'm getting your tune. This guy, XNY Space 1. Follow him on Xbox. And then he does a lot of blueprints that are really very good. So I heartily recommend that you follow him, and then when you go into the blueprints, look at your friends and following and check out some of his. Quite a cheap one. So there we go. I'm quite glad that I've managed to support you by downloading your tune. I'll use it for a bit, and then it'll say, hey, do you want to like this tune? I'll go, yes, I really do. So now this is a little bit fairer than it was before. So what I'm going to do now is go to my personal favourite place for harvesting skill points. And I want to show you why this car is not very good compared to my favourite car. So I know this is a drift Forza Edition bonus car. It's a drift skills bonus, okay? So, I mean, what I should do is do some drifting, yeah? Let's be fair. So I'm going to go over here. This is not where I normally get points from. I'm going to go here. I want to show you something else about this. Important thing to notice is this drag strip. If you don't have it, then do a couple of drag races until you unlock it, because that's important. We're going to use that. So I'm just going to drift. I'm not going to drift. I'm going to teleport. So I'm going to fast travel over to here. Now, if you're good at drifting and you like it, if you enjoy drifting, then this is what you're going to do. You are going to drive up and down this drag strip that's just to my side. And as you're doing this, every now and again, you'll come up here and drift, and you'll just set up this thing. So you'll jump into here and then you'll exit straight away. Okay? That's all it took. In, out. Okay? That's important. Because when you're building up your skill chain, when you get up to maximum, you want to wait and you allow your skill points to build up, because it's got a cap. That cap is 500,000 points. You get 500,000 points, that's going to give you 10 skill points. And 10 skill points is the maximum it will give you. Now, you can go up above 500,000 points, but if you go above it, you still only get 10 skill points. So as soon as you get to that, you want to stop. Now, if you're in a 7 times multiplier car, like I am at the moment, that is 71.5-ish. So 72 to be safe, 1,000 points. So when I'm doing this, I'm getting all these things. You watch it at the top. Oh, I've gone off track. And you see I've got 1,900. That thing there, I want to get that up to 72,000. And when that's on 72,000, I'm then, if I stop, it's going to round up to about 500,000, and that's going to give me 10 skill points. I don't want to get any more of that. But I want to draw your attention to something here, right? I am getting a bonus every time I drift, okay? Every time I drift, I get a bonus. But look at a very basic E-drift there, 180 points. That on another car gives you 150 points. I'm getting a 30-point bonus from this Forza Edition car. If you're good at drifting, obviously you're going to get a lot more points for drifting, because you'll have like ultimate drifts and all that stuff. But to get an ultimate drift, to get a high score on a drift, is not instant, okay? To get a high score on a drift takes time. You need to be drifting. So you drive along for a bit, and you pull your handbrake, and you drift through all this stuff, a lot better than what I just did, but that takes time, and this is important, okay? So every time I drift, I'm getting a bonus. But every time I crash through this thing, look, I'm not getting a bonus, I'm just getting the basic. If I sideward swipe something, it'll go yellow. Open road, right? That's an example. 1,300 points for an open road. If I side swipe, it'll give me a side swipe here, it should do. I should get yellow, there we go. Side swipe, 1,900. Okay, so because I was drifting as well, a side swipe with a drift, 1,900. Open road, 1,300. If there was a bin round here and I drove through it, I'd get 1,300 for bin man. If there was some things I could bounce over, I'd get 1,300 points for a kangaroo. I could get a wrecking ball. I'm not absolutely sure what gives you a wrecking ball. Awesome skill chain, 1,300. I want you to pay attention to these numbers. Is this going to give me a wrecking ball? Do you have to be drifting to get a wrecking ball and going sideways? So you can see here, oh, I'm going to level up. Rank 3! Woohoo! Let's take that spin, just in case it's something exciting. So I want you to pay attention to the points that we're getting. We're getting, if we max something out, we're getting 1,300 points, unless it's something to do with drifting. Jesus fucking Christ, could you give me anything worse? So, if we max, when it goes yellow, that's what I'm talking about. When it goes yellow, we get 1,300 points. Wrecking ball, 1,300 points. So that's the top you can get, unless it's something to do with drifting, because you get a bonus for drifting. So the drifting bonus is sideways swipe, or E-drift, or whatever, okay? Let's get a sideways swipe. Can we get him on this? See that bin man? 1,300 points, 1,300 points, over and over again, 1,300 points. Sideways swipe, please. Oh, fuck. I'm so bad. I cannot drift. Great skill chain, awesome skill chain. Again, 1,300, 1,300. Keep seeing that number, okay? If I get a 1,000, if I get a sideways swipe, it's going to be about 1,920, I think it was, something like that. I'll just quickly get one on this thing down here. That should give me one. I hope. Come on, let's do another one. They're not that easy to get, are they? How fucking annoying. Anyway, it's about 1,900 on a sideways swipe, and you get a bonus for every drift that you do. So an E-drift or a normal drift, there we go, 1,949. Okay, weird bonus, that's what you get. But my point is, everything else is giving me 1,300, okay? Everything else, 1,300. So let's change cars. And I'm going to go in my favourite car, which is this one. Right, I'm jumping into this car. I'm also going to go to a different place. Now, if I do those sideward swipes in this, I haven't got any drift bonus. So I'm not going to get 1,949 points, okay? But I've got a skills bonus. So when I do a sideward swipe on this one, I get 1,625 points, if I can get one. There, 1,625, okay? So I'm a bit less than I was in the BMW. But everything else that I do, wrecking ball, everything, you know, the ultimate skill chains, all that stuff that previously gave me 1,300 points, now every one of those, 1,625, is what every one of those does now. So every single thing that goes yellow, which you don't get much of in this area, gives me 1,625. So let's teleport to a different area. Oh, what was that? Side swipe. Wrecking ball, 1,625. Great skills, 1,625. Awesome skills, 1,625. Over and over again, 1,625. Now, in the BMW, all of those yellows were 1,3, not 1,6, apart from the sideways swipe. So if it's related to drift, you get a bonus for it. But in this guy, if it's related to skills, you get a bonus for it. And everything is related to skills. So this isn't a great place for this car, but over here is a fucking awesome place for this car. So I want to show you why I think this car is way better than the BMW. Right, so let's just hop over here. So down on the sand dunes, I mean, this area is quite a bit of fun doing stuff down here. I want to get to this car park to start. Did you see that? Kangaroo, 1,625 for a kangaroo. Now, if I get a kangaroo landscaping, 1,625. If I get landscaping or kangaroo in the BMW, I get 1,300, right? Every single car gives you 1,300 on a 7 times multiplier, unless it's a skills boost. So this one gives you 1,6250. Now, these bins here in the BMW, going through a bin gives you 1,300 points. Go through a bin in this car, 1,625. I just got 1,625 points twice for going through a bin. I got a landscaping thing for, I don't know what I hit to get that. But you saw all I did is drive through the bin and I got, 32,000 points. Oh, it was the post. See that post? There's a post next to the bin. I'm going to hit the bin and the post at the same time. Bin man, 1,625. Is he going to give me the landscaping? I don't know why he gave me the landscaping last time. But if I'd have gone through that bin in the BMW, it'd have only been 1,300. Now, the bin is a good bonus, right? Those bins do respawn quite nicely. I've got a driver. It's not a timer. It's distance from them. So if I drive away from them and then come back, those bins will respawn. They'll be back there. So in order to do that, I'm just going to drive in this direction, down by the castle. Look at these bonuses, 1,625, 1,625, over and over again. Now, don't drive full speed over here. If you drive full speed, there's a chance you'll flip your car. But if you just drive at a reasonable speed, you get crash landing bonus, and you get kangaroos, and landscaping, and awesome and ultimate skill chains. All of those that turn yellow are giving me 1,625. Oh, fuck. Don't do that. Be a little bit more careful. You see how many 1,625s there are? And a 1,875 there. But you see how many times it's going yellow? Right? My point here is, every time it goes yellow in this car, you get 1,625. Now, I've already gone way more than I needed to. If I go back, the bins are going to be back. Now, because there's a lot of stuff to crash through here, all of these fences, all of these sand dunes, the bins, all of this stuff, I get up to 7 really, really, really fast. And then as I'm driving along here, as I say, don't go full speed. You go full speed, you spend a huge amount of time in the air, and the air bonuses are not that great. So you want to be going fast enough to leave the floor, but slow enough to not spend ages in the air and to keep bouncing. I want you to pay attention to how many times it goes yellow. Kangaroo, kangaroo, air bonus, wrecking ball. See, the bins are back. Crash through the bins, do a handbrake turn. I'm already near maximum, and I've just driven along a little bit. Oh, I missed the bins. So yeah, landscape, 1625. Kangaroos, which I'll get in just a second. Let's just get one. Crash landing, 1625. Kangaroos, 1625. So these areas where it's bouncy, absolutely fucking awesome. I mean, you drive along for a bit, and then you do a drift, just to keep your skill chain going, and then you drive back again. Keep an eye on your thing at the top. When it gets up here, you just want to stop and let it catch up. So, I mean, if it gets to 70 odd, anything over 72 is a waste. So I need to stop, really. So this is going to give me, stop. See, I've wasted some points there. I've got about 3,000 points there that are pointless. It's going to give me 10 skill points, but that's a cap. I could get, millions of points on a skill chain. The most I've got was 3.5 million points on a skill chain, but it's still only giving me 10 skill points. So as soon as it gets to that, you want to stop, and that's about 72,000. So anything over there, you're wasting your time. Now, this area, as I say, I find it quite a bit of fun. But one of the beautiful things about this area is if you just pop over here to the sea, is you also have this drag strip here. So if you get bored of doing that, do this. Now watch, landscaping, 1625. Great skills, 1625. Oops. And if I get a sideways swipe, 1625 again. You see, every single one of these, 1625 every time. Whereas in the BMW, the landscapings are only going to be 1,300. The wrecking balls are only 1,300. The ultimate skill chains, the awesome skill chains, they're all only 1,300. In this car, they're over 1625 or 18750. Now the sideways swipes, in this car 1625, but in the BMW they're 1,925. There are far more things in this car that gives you bonus points than there are in the BMW, regardless of what you're doing. I mean, that landscaping, you get it a lot. And in the BMW, you're losing 325 points every single time you get it. In this car, you're getting a bonus. And then, I mean, anywhere that's bumpy, it doesn't have to be as crazy as this. I mean, the kangaroo bonuses are insane. You get them, I mean, just driving along here. Look how much shit I get for this. Unbelievable. Try not to do that. I mean, that's why you don't want to be going full speed, but it's not a big deal. You get away with it more times than you don't. But 1625, over and over and over again, and most of these would be 1,300 on the BMW. So that's why I think this is a better car for getting skill chains. I really do. And then up here, you're smashing through all these fences, going to take that bin, do a handbrake turn, and then just take the bins again. And then, I mean, the bins, you don't have to go very far away for the bins to respawn. Some things seem to take more distance to respawn than others. I've noticed that the drag strip fences, you seem to have to go further away for those to respawn than you do for the bins. I don't know if that's true or not, or it just seems that way. But yeah, it seems to me like you don't have to go very far for the bins. I didn't go very far at all then, so that might not be far enough. Let's have a look, see if those bins are back already. I hope you're noticing how many times I'm getting those yellows. It's insane. No, I didn't quite go far enough that time. I didn't think I had. You have to go a little bit further than that, but they do respawn quite successfully. Now, if you own the house that's just down the south from where I am now, and you want to go to it, whoops! Oh, go on! Oh shit! I'm gonna lose it. Yeah, that doesn't happen very often, but it does if you're careless. If you come up here. Rather than driving back along the road, just off the road, there's this path. And not here, but a little bit further down. Let's get a few of these. Look at all these, but look at all the 1625s. They'd be 1,300 in any other car. That's why I think this car is the no-brainer, hands down, best car for skill point farming. And it's like, I mean, if you just use this as your car for driving around in, then you get a huge number of these landscaping things, a huge number of wrecking balls, but you don't get many sideways swipes just driving around. This is where I wanted to get to, just past here. You got this little footpath just here, and along this footpath, where the fuck is it? Okay, here it is. Along this footpath, there are loads of benches and bins, okay? If you just drive along here, not even much skill or much speed, you get loads and loads of bonuses. I mean, every time you hit a bin, you're getting 1625 for the bin man bonus, and you get the wrecking bonus and all sorts of stuff. So it's a good place for getting a lot of skill points. So a lot of places in Edinburgh as well, there's a lot of bins. So if you're in a street where there's bins, just get off the road and crash through the bins. And even just going along, when you're driving along, just drive through the fences. Or, I mean, personally, if you just drive a straight line to wherever you've got to go, like this, in this car, you're going to be doing bouncing. If you're driving just along fields, just, I mean, I'm going nowhere in particular, but just watch my skill chains. Ooh, I'm going to hit that tree. Watch how many yellows I get from stuff like kangaroos whilst just driving along bumpy-ish grass. I mean, this is not a great place. See how many times it turns yellow? Now, almost all of those yellows in this car are 16250, whereas in every other car, they're 1300. Some of those yellows in this car are higher, and some of those yellows in other cars, I mean, if you're in the BMW, then some of those yellows will be higher, but if you're doing side swipes, so you need to be drifting. Now, to drive everywhere drifting, not quite so easy, but a couple of places that I want to show you if you can do some skill point farming. This area here, just where all the wind turbine things are, most of this area is pretty bouncy, so that's pretty good. If you go up towards this sort of zone, in fact, I'll just drive up there, okay? So let's put a marker in. I'm just going to drive up to that kind of area. I want to show you a couple of things around there.
When it is safe to do so.
Right, so I want to be driving roughly in this direction. So not so much where I am right now, but a little bit more towards the wind farm is very bouncy. But not too bouncy that you crash, but bouncy enough so that you're constantly getting kangaroos over and over and over again, which is really, really bloody awesome. But if you go a little bit further up here, then there's a lot of those tree stumps on the floor, and you get the lumberjack bonus. There's one, look, 1625 again. So yeah, go over towards here. There's a lot of bouncing around, very difficult to lose your skill chain because there's hardly anything that you can crash into. So look at all these yellows, 1625 every single time. Any other car, that's going to be 1300, including the BMW. It's just unbelievable. It gives you so many points. And as I say, when you get up here towards the forest, if you don't want your skill chain to end, just do a drift. Like that. Try not to kill the sheep. Have you noticed how the sheep change? Have a little look at these sheep a moment. I think this is a bloody awesome attention to detail. Right? Look at them now. This is winter. Look at their big coats. And they're sheep. In the spring, these are lambs. And I'm not sure whether it's summer or autumn or what, but sometimes they've got like a big fleece. Sometimes they haven't because they've been sheared by the farmer. It's a bloody good attention to detail, that is. And it's like they're a bit dirty now in the winter, whereas in the spring they're whiter. I love it. Really, really awesome. So yeah, this kind of area over here, a lot of bouncing, a lot of crashing through bushes, very easy to slide on the grass, fences that you can go through. And then as soon as you get over towards the forest a little bit more, there are these things here, these logs. There's loads of these around here, and if you can hit one, they give you lumberjack bonuses. You'll see it come up in a moment. Jesus Christ, come on. Well, this is a bad example. There we go, there's some. So wrecking balls, awesome skills. Oh no, maybe it's the logs that are lying down, but I mean, you'll see me get a lumberjack bonus in a bit if I hang around here. Wow! Don't want to go into the forest too much because I'm going to... If I go in here, I'm going to bloody hit a tree and lose my skill chain. But yeah, in this car, the Lumberjack, there we go, 1625 for a Lumberjack bonus. Whereas in any other car, it's going to be 1,300. Crash landing, 1625. Any other car, 1,300. So yeah, I definitely think that this car is the go-to car for getting skill chains. And this area is nice because there's a lot of bouncing around. Very hard to actually crash. But a lot of the stuff that you do up here is going to give you, I mean, you get a lot of the kangaroos, you can see it. I mean, there's no skill going on here. So what I recommend is get this car. You know, max out the skill set. You might not want to get the 1 second, but max out everything else. And then just drive around. And everywhere you go, just drive in this car. And you will have so many skill points. It's insane. It really is. I mean, if you just want to go somewhere, don't fast travel. Just go there, you know, as the crow flies. Just go a straight line across the map, crash through a load of stuff, do a little bit of drifting, and by the time you get there, you'll have a bunch of skill points. And I mean, if you do that, it's fun, it's easy, and they really add up. But if you're just skill point farming, like just going up and down the airstrip, or just going up and down the beach, or wherever you choose to skill farm, it's not so much fun. Right, you want the extra life because it's a pain in the arse when you do crash into something like the tree and you lose it all. But look how many times it goes yellow. I just want to, that's the thing. It's like every single time it goes yellow, this car's giving me an extra 300 points over any other car. Unless that yellow is a side swipe or something to do with drifting. I mean, that one there, 16250, the BMW would have given me 19250, so that would have given me a bonus 300 on top of this car, whereas this one doesn't. But everything else, I mean, look at that. I just rolled through a fence and I get 1,625 points. Rolling through a fence. No skill, no nothing. How many fences can you roll through whilst just going from point A to point B? It's a no-brainer. It really is. This car is a no-brainer. But as I said, if I just go back into the perks, you might not want to get this one. Because if you get that one, you've got to wait an extra second in order to add up your skill points at the end to get your skill chain and to get your 10 points. So, I mean, if you're skill point farming, that adds up. But if you're just driving from A to B, then that extra second can actually be a bit of a bonus. So, I mean, see which way you prefer it. Now, what anywhere that has a mission that you, there we go, that's better. Anywhere that's got a mission that you can enter, if you enter that mission and exit straight away, whatever your skill chain was at, you get the points. It just stops your skill chain instantly. So if you do that when you've hit 71,000 points, it's going to give you 10 skill points. You won't have to wait for the skill chain to close. So look at this. Roll through a fence, 1625. How many times can we roll through fences? Just keep going backwards and forwards, smacking through fences. You know, one side of the road to the other side of the road. Fence on both, I mean, there's not one here, but normally there's a fence or something on both sides of the road. Just go along like this everywhere you're driving. 1625, 1625, 1625, over and over and over again.
Turn around when it is safe to do so.
So yeah, think about it. Every single thing that you get points for, this car gives you a bonus. Everything. The other one, only on drift. It's a no-brainer. This is a hands-down winner. It really is. It's a hands-down winner. You get so many bonuses on this. And, I mean, just driving from A to B, it's just unbelievable how many skill points you can get just driving from A to B. But yeah, bouncing around is definitely one of the things that you want to be doing. So I want to show you another area which is good for bouncing around, which is in here, just in the quarry. So teleport to about in there. This isn't so easy in the winter because there's a lot of sliding around. Any other season, it's a lot easier to do this. So I'm in the quarry. This bit here is where I want to be. So all I'm going to do is drive along here. It's quite bouncy. Towards that house, get near the house, handbrake turn, and then just drive back. That's it. Just up and down this bit here. And then this section that I'm on right now, just bounce, 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 bounce. Slow down a bit, turn around. I want to turn around before I go off there because there's like a pond area,
200
and in the
yards,
winter it's really
turn
slippy.
right.
So look at how easy this is.
Turn
Crash
right.
landing, kangaroos bonuses.
100 yards,
Get up
turn
here,
right.
handbrake turn through the wall.
Turn around when it is safe.
Let's stop this fucking annoying woman. There we go. You see how quickly I got up to a 7 multiplier? And look at, I mean, the 1625, every single time I do absolutely anything, I'm getting 1625 as opposed to 1300. Don't hit those big towers, they will stop your skill chain, and so will the houses, so don't crash into those. Just drift through the wall, and then do it again. So yeah, this is a great place for building your skill chains. I like this, it's nice. It's a very small area though, and also, I mean, I don't like going over here because it's, especially when it's winter, sliding around on this annoying thing. It just slows you down. And also, don't go full speed. I'll go full speed and you'll see why you don't want to do it. It's like you spend too much time in the air, and also you haven't got so much control, so you can crash. But did you see the bonuses I got for being in the air? Nothing. Watch again. Watch for the airs. Great air, 200. No, it's hardly anything. So you want to avoid that. You want to avoid going up in the air, because going up in the air doesn't give you many points. You want to just bounce. The kangaroos is where it's at. So the bouncing, kangaroo bonuses, crash landing bonuses. Every time you do them, you're getting 1,625 points. But in any other car at all of these, every time you see it going yellow, that'd be 1,300, unless it's related to drift and you're in the BMW. Now, my go-to car for most of the stuff that I do is this Maserati. This one, the MT-12. I mean, this car's a little bit more expensive to get because you have to get it out of the Maserati 300S. It's one of the unlocked cars, so it's a bit more difficult to get, and the 300S costs quite a bit of money in the showroom. So you're not just going to be able to buy this car on auction, but if you get this car, when you're making blueprints and just going up and down the motorway and exploiting that part of the game, this has got a speed skills boost on it. So you're getting loads of skill points just from going up and down the motorway, and they really, really do add up. But this car here, if I go over to the auction site, you get these for, the most you're going to pay is 400,000 credits, and some people put them in there for 200,000 or even less. So let's go on the auctions, have a little look. There's probably going to be one in there for 200,000. You know, if not, there'll probably be one in there for 300,000, and if not, there'll definitely be a ton of them in there for 400. They used to go for 409 all the time, but now they seem to be a little bit more varied. But, oh, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do this. So, I want to have a look at the Renault. This one. And the Renault 5 Turbo FE. So, that 5 Turbo FE. That's the one you want. So 400, 406, 44444, 300. Oh, that one's gone, look, but it was 200. There's another one for 200. So they're not expensive. Get one of these. That's priority. Get this car, max out your skill set, decide whether or not you want to take that extra second. If you don't, then miss that out. It's going to save you a bit of waiting. But yeah, there's a few in here for 200. So they're readily available for not much money. And once you've got one of those, inside the skill chain for it, I would recommend not getting this, but getting everything else. But if you're just using this as your from point A to point B car, as you're bouncing around and all that sort of stuff, take this, because, I mean, sometimes you're just driving along. But ideally, start here, get that, and then go along here and get that. So this one here means if you're in a convoy, you get extra. If you've got friends that are online, just be in a convoy. It doesn't matter if they're doing something entirely different to you. Just be in a convoy, you get extra points. And then once you've got at least these two, and obviously the routes to get these two, get the rest of it when you can. You know, and now, I mean, this thing up here gives you an extra bonus on future campaigns. So once you've taken all of these, you might want to buy another one, do it again, and get the extra bonuses over and over again. Entirely up to you. But I would recommend getting those that I've said. These two are absolutely essential. And on a lot of cars, this is only a ×2 multiplier, but on this one it's a 3, on the BMW it's a 3, a couple of others it is as well. The Dino it's a 3, The Maserati MC12, it's a 3. This one is a 7. On a lot of cars, this is a 6. On this, it's a 7. And on the Peel, it's an 8, but not on anything else. So there we go, guys. That is the complete guide to getting skill points. Very quickly recap, buy the skill point house because you'll get skill points a lot quicker. You see here, this skill here is what gives you that. Then buy one of these, 200,000 points, and then everything that you do will give you bonuses. So rather than getting 1,300, you're going to get 16250. So it really, really adds up. That's a significant bonus. Now, I know a lot of people have said on my previous videos talking about skill point cars that the BMW is better than this. It just isn't. It gives you bonuses on anything to do with drift. But when you're just going about your normal daily business, whether you're skill point farming or just going from point A to point B, there are a huge number of things that you get points for that are not related to drifting. Many more. The kangaroos, the bins, the wrecking balls, the landscape, all of that stuff. This car gives you extra points. Now, you only get extra points in the BMW if you're doing something to do with drifting, the side swipes, the drifts, and you don't do that so often. And if you're driving over something that's bumpy, you get shitloads of kangaroos and crash landing bonuses, and every single one of those in this car is bonus points. So yeah, I've talked about it a few times. I've had a lot of people in the comments saying, no, you're wrong, the BMW is the best. It's not, and these are the reason it's not the best. But I would also say, as a caveat, that farming skill points is a grind, right? It's a bit boring. So if you love drifting up and down the airstrip, side swiping over and over and over again, then what I would recommend that you do, right? And don't just think, I'll go for the BMW, it's the drift car, it's the no-brainer. Set a timer for 10 minutes and have a Renault, have a BMW, and do whatever you like doing in each of those cars for 10 minutes and see how many skill points you get and average that out over a minute. Now, I did that in this car, just driving around the beach, and I don't want you to do your best skill chain. Just do an average one, do a normal one. If you fuck up and you lose your chain, leave it in, because that's real life. It's real statistics that are going to give you something worthwhile. Don't think I prefer the BMW, so when I'm in the BMW, I'm going to get a perfect 10 minutes. And now I'm not that bothered about the Renault, so in the Renault, I'm just going to, whatever happens, happens. Just have whatever happens, happens in both cars. And then see which one genuinely gives you the most points. I think it's going to be this. Genuinely do, because there are more things that give you bonuses in this. I also think that there are places that are a lot better than the airstrip. You don't get that many bonuses in the airstrip. You get as you're drifting backwards and forwards through the fences, it gives you a few things, but it doesn't give you a lot. When you're driving around on the sand dunes, there's a lot more things happening more quickly. There are fences there, so you're getting all the bonuses for crashing through the fences and the bushes and all that. You're bouncing. When you bounce, you get the kangaroo bonus, the air bonuses, the crash landing bonuses, you get the wrecking balls, you get the bin mans, you get the drifting through the fences, the side swipes, all of that stuff. It's like that area just seems to give you, when it turns yellow, it seems to do that much, much more often. But what I recommend, rather than just taking my word for it, time yourself for 10 minutes in this car and drive around in the place where you enjoy getting skill points the most. And then time yourself in another car. All of the Forza Edition cars that have these two, this one and this one. Every Forza Edition car that's got those two, there's only about 4 or 5 of them. You want to use each one of those in your preferred place and see which one gives you the most skill points averaging over a minute. I would, in most cases, I'd say it's this. It's going to be this. And just do that. What do you like doing? Because if you only grind to get skill points and you're not enjoying it, and after a few minutes it becomes boring, you become sick of the game, it's no fun, there's no point. If you're not enjoying playing the game, there's no point in playing it. But you do need skill points. Skill point farming is an important part of this game. Now, for me, bouncing around on the sand dunes is fun for about 15 minutes. After that, I don't want to be doing it anymore. But I want to do something else. But I can drift. Drifting through the airstrip, that's fun for me for about 2 minutes. After that, it's boring as fuck. Driving from point A to point B, by crashing through everything that I can see and bouncing over bumpy terrain and fields and stuff like that, that doesn't really get that boring at all. I don't mind doing that. I'm happy to do that every single time I need to go somewhere. But after a while, I do get a little bit bored of it and I tend to fast travel instead. But I mean, if I've got to get across the map, I'm more than happy to just jump in this car, drive in a dead straight line, do a little bit of drifting and get there that way. And by the time I've got there, I've probably made 15 or 20 skill points. And they do add up. I mean, you can see there I've got 418. These things do add up. So there we go, guys. That was my guide to skill points, as I've already said. Quickly before I close, I'm going to jump straight back into the cars, pop it onto my favourites, and once again just show you which cars have that 7 times multiplier. Apart from this one's got an 8. So yeah, you might want to play around with that. This car here has got the body kit applied to it, so it's the Mini Cooper S, but once you're in it, I mean, it's bloody awesome once you apply the body kit to it. On the British Racing Green series, the car that you drive when it does the Mini is this version of this one. So obviously your upgrades and tuning, and then your body kit presets. And all I've done on this is given it this preset, which makes it really fucking awesome. And I've also put my design on it. So if you like this design, this is one of mine. Feel free to download it. I mean, I was promoting, I did this on Forza Motorsport 5, so it's really old. And you can see it's got a website on there, xbox4free.com, and also Xbox for Free written all over it. That used to be my game tag years ago. And I owned that website, and I had a business, which was something to do with that. That website still exists, but it's not mine anymore. I have no idea who owns it now. I don't do that business anymore. So yeah, this design is still promoting this website now for somebody else who has nothing to do with me. But if you like this, download it. If you don't. But that's one of mine. I've done quite a few designs. Feel free to take a look at them. But there you go, guys. Let me show you the car mastery for this. Look at that. The same as what we've just been in. This is a ×3. This is a ×7. They're the two most important. It's slightly different because the clock is up here and it's 1.5 seconds, whereas normally it's here and it's only 1 second. So it's a slightly different to the other one. A few of these things are slightly different. This and this are the same. They're also very useful. This is in every single car. But these bonuses for air skills, bonuses for near misses, I mean, wreckage bonuses, all of this stuff helps. So yeah, if you haven't got many skill points, just make sure you get those two. If you've got enough skill points to max it out, just max it out. And then decide for yourself whether you want to take this or not. But yeah, I like this Mini. It's lovely. Let's just have a quick drive in it before we close the game. As you know, I've had quite a few Minis and I love them. And for those people that didn't know, I'll just tell you something very quickly that I used to do in my Mini. In fact, I'll show you. What I used to do in my Mini is, imagine there are some people standing at the side of the road, okay? Let's get a corner. Let's imagine some people are standing on this corner right here. So I used to drive past them about this fast, like about 5 miles an hour, like that. And as I was driving past them, I used to have my seat as far forward it was go, sat upright, holding my steering wheel, shuffling, like someone who is on their very first driving lesson. So that's the way I used to drive past people. But inside my Mini, there was a fucking massive stereo system. Well, massive speakers and a very powerful amplifier. And I used to have a sound effects CD. When you're a DJ, you get sent a load of shit for free. And one of the things I got sent for free was a CD that was full of different sound effects. And one of the sound effects that was on that CD is the sound of a car screeching around a corner, like a high-speed car chase where a car's just like squealing its tyres around the corner. So I used to play that sound effect in my car really loud as I drove very, very slowly around corners. And everybody who was on the path that I was driving past, they'd like leap backwards. And then they'd see the car, and it's kind of like what their eyes could see and what their ears could hear was completely incongruent, and they looked so confused. So they'd just be staring at me with their mouths open, just like trying to work out what is happening. And I mean, me and my mates in my car, it used to really make us laugh. So we used to do that quite a lot. And I'll tell you another funny story, actually, which also kind of involves a Mini. I wasn't in the Mini, but this was when I used to deliver pizzas. I got a job delivering pizzas I'd been a manager at McDonald's. I wanted a job with no responsibility, so I went over to Domino's Pizza and got a job there delivering pizzas on motorbikes. The reason I got the job is because I saw a pizza motorbike jumping over a speed bump, and I thought that looks like a lot of fun. I wouldn't mind getting paid to do that. So I went and applied for the job, and I started riding around on the bikes. Because I was a bit older than most of the people that were there, everyone else there was like 16, 17. I was 21. I was instantly allowed to drive the 90s as opposed to the 50s. They go a little bit faster and they've got gears so that you can do more stuff on them. So I just used to do a lot of jumping speed bumps and stuff like that. But anyway, I'm on my Honda Cub 90. Oh my God, they are a lot of fun. When you're delivering pizzas and you spend 8 hours driving around on a motorbike, you start doing things that are a bit stupid. So I used to just like weave in and out of the white lines in the middle of the road when there's no traffic. And once you've done that for a bit, you lose control and then your handlebar hits the floor and you crash. So I used to crash a lot. The other thing that I used to do, at the time I was playing a lot of Tony Hawk's Pro Skateboarder. So I used to drive near the curb and sit side saddle and put both of my feet sort of like just above the curb. So I used to pretend that I was grinding a skateboard along the side of the curb while I was driving to deliver someone's pizza. And then every now and again you'd get it a little bit wrong, your foot would catch the curb and then you'd fall off and really hurt your legs. So I used to fall off quite a lot. And one of the things that happened, this is the thing that evolved the Mini. Hello all the people up there in the window. This was really quite amusing. I was on the pizza bike and I'd come up to some traffic lights and a Mini, not dissimilar to this one, didn't have this body kit, but it pulled up alongside me, and there were like about 6 lads inside that were obviously on something, and they were going, pull a wheelie, pull a wheelie, pull a wheelie. It was all going completely mental. Now, I am not very good at pulling wheelies on a motorbike, it has to be said. And I just wanted to get away. It's like when you're on a pizza bike, you get quite a lot of abuse from people, so I just wanted to get out of there. So I'm waiting at a junction, and the junction, my options are go straight on. So it's like this. I could go straight on or I could turn left. I've got to turn left. That's what I'm intending to do. They're going straight on. So they're sat to the right-hand side of me. So I'm completely ignoring them. I'm looking straight forward. I'm waiting for the traffic light to change to green. My intention as soon as it changes to green is to just go. Get out of the way. I don't want to acknowledge that I've even heard them. I'm pretending that I've not even heard them. I mean, we used to get a lot of abuse. You get people who'd call you like pizza wanker. You get your bike stolen. You get beat up. You get your pizza stolen. You get your money robbed. People spit in your face. It's not nice. I enjoyed, driving around on a motorbike, but there was a side of the job that was horrible. So I'm sitting in the car. I'm sitting on the moped next to these guys, and then the lights changed to green, and I just revved as hard as I could and went to turn left. But I was in fucking neutral, right? I hadn't put my bike in gear because I was too focused on these people. But my revs are really high. So without thinking, I slammed my bike into first gear. Now, on any other bike in the world, I'd have flipped it and I'd have just come off the back. But that doesn't happen on a pizza bike because a pizza bike has a great big box on the back of it that's got pizzas inside. And when you do that, you rev and then you slam yourself in first gear, your bike goes bolt upright until your pizza box is hitting the floor. So you are pointing straight up in the air. And as I'm pointing straight up in the air, I'm going straight across this box junction that's in front of me. But I wanted to turn left. So I'm still turning left with my steering, which makes it look like I'm doing a fucking incredible wheelie while styling my front tyre out. So that's what it looks like to the guys in the Mini. To me, I'm shitting myself, right? So they can't see my face. So I'm thinking, so I'm going along. My wheels tweaked to the left. So not only am I pulling a wheelie, I'm pulling a stylish wheelie. And I'm thinking, how the fuck do I get down? I go all the way across the box junction, and then I think, back brake, back brake, back brake. So I press my back brake, and when I do that, obviously my wheel stops spinning, and my bike just flops back down onto the road. At this point, I get off the bike, turn round to the traffic, not just the Mini, but all the traffic that is sitting there at the traffic lights waiting, and I took a bow, and everybody is just gawking at me. So the mouths on the floor just similar to when I used to drive around in my Mini making a silly squealing noise. But everyone's just looking at me in disbelief, and I take a little bow, I get back on the bike, and then I drive away. Now, before I actually delivered the pizza, I stopped at a car park, opened the back box, had a look at the pizza, and it had actually folded itself in half and the toppings were all over the place. So I opened the pizza so it looked responsible. I ate all of the toppings that fell off the pizza, rearranged it so it looked okay, then I delivered it. And then much, much later on that same day, I was driving back to the shop. I pulled up at some traffic lights and this same Mini pulled up alongside me. And I stopped. I just looked down at it, and they saw that it was. This is when I used to wear quite distinctive glasses, so they instantly recognised me. And they was like, "You're that guy. You're the guy that pulled the wheelie. Oh my god, that brought us right up. Do it again. Do it again." So they were stupidly excited, going, "Do it again. Do it again." And I goes, "Nah, sorry lads, just once a night," and then just drove away slowly. It's like I cannot pull incredible wheelies. If I tried to do that again, I'd have just fell off and hurt myself. But yeah, to those guys, it would have looked fucking epic. But to me, I was shitting myself. I was completely out of control, and it was an absolute fluke. But yeah, it was really, really funny, and it made me feel pretty fucking awesome, to be honest, because it gave pizza delivery guys a pretty cool reputation as far as these people that had seen this happen were concerned. You know, the guys in the minute was like, "That was fucking awesome, do it again." Whereas most of the time when you're on a pizza bike, you just get people going, "Ah, you pizza wanker." I mean, my friend Joel, he was sat on his pizza bike, just waiting at traffic lights, and the guys, you know, look, like a pedestrian crossing it was, the guys that were crossing the road went out of their way to walk up to him. He got his visor open on his helmet, and they just spat straight in his face. So how disgusting is that? Right? On one occasion, I was delivering a pizza to someone's house. I pulled my bike up, and I was walking down someone's driveway to deliver the pizza, and there was a kid in the next door house in the front garden just playing. And the kid would have been about 8 years old, like a little kid. And he stuck his fingers up at me, and he went, "You fucking pizza wanker." I was like, "What?" And I delivered the pizza, and I just shook my head like that. And then his dad come out, and his dad goes, "What are you doing?" And I goes, "Nothing, it's all right." And he goes, What are you shaking your head at my son for?" And I says, "He's just called me a fucking pizza wanker." Right? And I really expected him to reprimand his child. And he went, "Yeah, you are a fucking pizza wanker." Right? And then he stuck his fingers up at me. I just went, "Oh my God, that guy, that child has no hope." Right? I was 21 when I did this job. So that's 23 years ago. I'm 44 now. So this small child, who was about 8 years old, he's now about 30, okay? I imagine he's a complete and utter dickhead because his dad was a absolute prime twat, right? It's like, what the fuck was that? Teaching your 8-year-old son to stick their fingers up at someone delivering a pizza and say, "Hey, you fucking pizza wanker." Unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. So complete scum and shocking. But yeah, I loved that job. It was such fun. But because I'd been a manager at McDonald's previously, I got promoted up to a store manager of the Domino's pizza shop ridiculously quickly, which was a bit annoying because I wanted no responsibility. I loved going out on the bikes. I loved jumping the speed bumps. It was fun. It's like when you're on one of the 90s, they can go with decent speed and probably about 50, 60 miles an hour maximum. But when you're approaching a speed bump, if you bounce the bike down as hard as you can, so when it bounces back up is just when you hit the speed bump, you can get some serious distance on a Honda Cub 90. It's just fucking incredible. But a couple of them, there was quite a few different bikes in the shop. They all had their own little personalities. One of them, with no warning whatsoever, would suddenly change into first gear. So you're going along at 50 plus miles an hour, and then the bike would suddenly, of its own accord, change into first gear, which means that your entire body is on the handlebars, and your back end is squiggling along the road like a bitch, and you are suddenly losing a lot of speed. And it was a fucking nightmare. So that used to happen quite a bit. That bike was horrible, and if it was the only one left, it was so nervous when you was driving it. But all of them had something wrong with them. I mean, there was one that was bloody awesome. It's one of the best bikes one of the best bikes that were there, and it was the one that I always had because I was the most responsible person. I was the oldest, I had the most responsibility, so that was always my bike. I was allowed that bike. And I was delivering a pizza one time in the area where my friend Craig, that I speak about quite often, where he used to live. And it was in a block of flats. And I knocked on the door, and the guy went, "What?" And I goes, "Pizza delivery." And he goes, "I haven't ordered pizza." I was thinking, "Oh, shit." I was like, "Okay, no problem, mate, thanks." I walked down the stairs from the flats, and my bike is nowhere to be seen. My bike has been stolen. and it's the best bike in the shop, so it's a bit of a shitter. I just walk out looking for the bike, and then I go around a corner, and there's a group of lads. I see my bike, I see the group of lads see me, and they go, there he is, fucking kill him. I was like, oh shit. So I'm running. I mean, it was actually in the winter. It was really terrible conditions. It was icy conditions, so it was not a nice day anyway. It was freezing cold. My gloves were soaking wet. And I'm carrying these pizzas. They'd ordered quite a few pizzas. I mean, a hoax always orders a lot of pizzas. They're going to steal them off you. They're not going to pay for them. So I'm carrying these pizzas, running from this massive gang of lads that already have my motorbike. I can't run along the road because they're going to catch me because they've got a bike. So I jump over somebody's garden, down their entry into their back garden, and then just jumped over several back gardens trying to get away. And I'm in someone's back garden. I'm thinking, this is Craig's house. I was like, shit, I'm in Craig's back garden. Right? I don't know the area very well. That was just pure pot luck. So I went and banged on his window. He wasn't in, but his dad was. His dad come and answered the door. And he goes, what's up? I says, I'm being chased. My bike's just been nicked. So I went into, sat in Craig's kitchen with his dad. And me and him sat there for a while eating the pizza while the lads who were in the street looking for me gave up and went away. And I phoned the shop and I can't remember if his dad gave me a lift or what, but I got back down to the shop anyway. But got back to the shop, said to the store manager, Nick at the time, bike's been nicked. Now, Nick used to use that bike to go home on. It was the best bike, so he'd use it to go home and come back. So it's one of the perks of the job of being a manager. And so I'm like, sorry, Nick, your bike's been nicked. And he was seriously pissed off. And Nick's a smoker. A little bit later on in the night, and this really tickled me. We're all getting ready to go home. Nick's finished up. He's outside the back, and he's had a bit of a smoke, and he's a little bit stoned. And he called me over and goes, Steve. I goes, what? And he says, you know that bike? And he goes, yeah. And he goes, can you... We'd found out what happened to it by this point. The police had found the bike, and what they'd done is close to where they'd stolen it, they'd burnt it out, and it was found all burnt. All burnt out in just like a little bit of a wreck, like a playground area, in the same estate where they'd stole it from. So they didn't drive it around very much. They just drove it a bit and then set it on fire. So the police found it. So anyway, a little bit later in the night, Nick calls me over, and he goes, you know when they stole my bike? I'm like, yeah. And earlier on, he'd been really, really angry about it, but now he got a little bit stoned. And he goes, can you imagine when you set it on fire? Can you imagine when it exploded? Because it would have been fucking awesome, wouldn't it? Could you imagine watching it go up? I was just like, yeah, okay, Nick. So it completely changed the tune. He's just got this big grin on his face. He's got like really wide eyes. And he's like, just think about it. It's like, imagine being in the park and it's really cold. And then it just explodes. And there's like this big cloud of fire. I was like, yeah, okay. Because Nick, you do realise that your bike's been stolen, yeah? You got to use one of the shit ones to go home on in the cold. But anyway, there we go. So I am now going to close this video. So that is my guide to farming skill points, and also a couple of stories about when I used to work at Domino's Pizza, which was a hell of a lot of fun. It really, really was. I mean, those two jobs that I've mentioned quite a bit, the McDonald's one and the Domino's Pizza one, I had so much fun at those two jobs. I mean, I've done important jobs. I've done quite a few office jobs. I've been a mortgage advisor and worked in the financial industry and things like that. And I've also done quite a few crazy jobs, like a unicyclist, stilt walker, hypnotherapist, stage hypnotist, DJ. So I've had quite an eclectic, job history. But those two, working for Domino's Pizza, delivering bikes and pissing around on a moped, that was so much fun. Really was so much fun. And but I did crash the motorbikes a lot. And I know it's not being a shit rider. Everyone who delivers pizzas is a bloody good rider. You get a huge amount of experience riding bikes. You're driving them for like 8 hours a day. It's just being bored and doing stupid stuff. So, I mean, the one where I used to crash most often, which was probably the most stupid, was when I was weaving in and out of the white lines. So the white line's going down the middle of the road. It's like 8, 9 o'clock at night. You're delivering a pizza. You've been driving along a road for ages. The bike's not that fast. And you just get bored. There's no cars anywhere. And you just look at the white line and you think, slalom. And then you start weaving in and out of the white line. And then you think to yourself, I wonder how fast I could do this. and then you lose control, one of your handlebars hits the floor and you fall off and you hurt yourself. Yeah, that used to happen a lot. But I never really, I mean, I cut my legs open quite badly and stuff like that. But I've broken 11 bones, but never from falling off motorbikes. I've always been quite safe. I've just sort of like fell off and rolled along the floor and kind of just bruised myself. So I've always been quite lucky with it. But yeah, the pizza job was a hell of a lot of fun. So there we go. That's my guide to getting skill points and a couple of stories thrown in. So that is all from me. You take care and have an awesome day. And I will see you soon. Please do leave comments, good or bad, I don't care. Thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, thumbs down if you didn't. If you leave a hostile, volatile, disgusting, toxic comment, I'll not only delete it, but I will also ban you from leaving comments on my channel because I find people like you fucking hideous, okay? So if you're gonna leave some fucking horrible, toxic comment, you will get banned from leaving comments on my channel because I don't want my subscribers to have to read your shit. So that applies to the 2 people that told me I should kill myself, who have now been banned from leaving comments on my channel. So if you're anything like those 2 people, just fuck off. You're really not welcome. But to everybody else, I really do like you people, and I'm very, very, very grateful for my subscribers. So there we go, guys. Take care, have an awesome day, and I will see you soon. Oh, and if you've not subscribed, why the fuck not? Subscribe to my channel. A lot of people that watch my videos are not subscribers, like a massive percentage. So if you're not a subscriber, welcome, and please do hit that subscribe button and join the family. And then, I mean, once you're in and you're a subscriber and you start commenting often, then I'm going to jump into the comments videos, and this is where we all get to interact with each other. We get to know each other and have a little look at your YouTube channels. I might showcase you, I might follow you, I might tell all my other people to follow you. That happens. So watch those, they're a lot of fun. I do apologise about the one that I did in the mall, where I'm in the coffee shops. The sound is absolutely shocking. That crazy woman that was laughing all the time. But yeah, there's a few people's channels that I popped into on that. Fallen UK. I had a look in yours, but there's nothing there, so I was very disappointed. But Mute, I spent quite a bit of time looking around your channel. I've now followed you, and I've watched a couple of your cover videos for bass and guitar, and they're pretty good. So yeah, I don't think you've watched my comments on comments video yet. So if you haven't, then watch it, and you'll see that I pop into your channel. So I do that quite often. I popped into your channel as well, Chris, the guy that you left some bloody good comments, and you have a channel that's to do with yachts and boating. So I had a quick look in there. I would like to buy a yacht, but it wasn't really my thing. But if it was my thing, then I most certainly would have followed you, watched and liked some of your videos. So if you are a regular commenter and you don't watch my comments on comments videos, then you should watch them, because quite often I do jump into your channels and hopefully try and encourage my followers to follow you as well. So there we go, guys. That's all from me. You take care and have an awesome day. I'm going to go to the gym. See you all soon. Bye-bye.